I hope everybody's preparations are going well. Let's wait a few minutes for the regular students to join our live session. Today, I'll be taking IELTS Speaking, continuation of linking words and connectors, which I had taken 2 weeks back. So I hope you guys are thorough with the connectors, which I have dealt last week. Last week, we learned one connector which is commonly used, that is firstly. So I hope you guys have no doubts regarding it. If you have any doubts, let's cover all those and then start with today's connectors. Because connectors are very useful in IELTS speaking, and especially to check your vocabulary and how natural you are. It is very much mandatory that we use a couple of connectors for IELTS speaking. So last week I had said that there are few connectors which should be used only in writing, not for your speaking. So I hope you guys have gone through it. So let's wait for the students to join and then let's start with today's class. That's mainly on 2 more connectors, which is commonly used in our IELTS speaking. Last week, I had said that there are some connectors that is commonly used in IELTS writing, not for your speaking. So I hope you guys are thorough with all those. So just to have a recap of all those, could you, good morning, G. Mole Matthews. Thank you for joining the live session. So if you have not watched the last speaking series live session, please go through it. And those students who have already gone through, if you have any doubts, please comment here. So I have said that there are few connectors which is commonly used only in writing, not for your speaking. To state that there are few, could anybody tell me which is those connectors which is commonly used in writing, not for your speaking? Yes. Good morning, Ashwati. Yes, furthermore, yes. That's the correct answer. Furthermore is the connectors, which is used mainly in writing. There is nothing wrong in saying it so, but still, in order to sound natural, we don't quite use the connector in IELTS speaking. Very good, Lija. Moreover, oftenly, very good. Good morning, Atira. Good morning. Okay, Gmol, fine. Please go through the previous live sessions as well. So you will have a thorough, recap of what have to be used in IELTS speaking and what has to be used in IELTS writing, because there are few connectors which we get confused. That's mainly furthermore, thus, then it can be concluded that. ഇങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ പറയുന്ന കണക്ടേഴ്സിൻ്റെ മീനിങ് എല്ലാം സെയിം ആണ്, ബട്ട് ദെൻ നമ്മൾ റൈറ്റിങ്ങിലാണ് അങ്ങനത്തെ കൂടുതലും യൂസ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. Speaking use that, it will sound so unnatural. That's the reason, okay? Yeah, so I have, yes, very good. To recap, okay, to conclude, all those we can use in a writing. Fine, thank you. Thank you, thank you, fine. So today I would like to start with 2 more connectors, and before that I would like to state a quote which says, which is said by Helen Keller, and she's very famous. We have known about her since our childhood. We have read a lot of autobiographies and stories, especially in our English, lessons. So you guys are familiar with her. Her words says, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence. Yes. In our life, in order to achieve something, we should have hope. We should have hope in what? We should be having hope and confidence in ourselves. നമ്മൾ നമ്മളെ തന്നെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? വിശ്വസിക്കണം. നമ്മൾക്ക് നമ്മളെ തന്നെ ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻറ്റ് വേണം. In this world, first we need to be very faithful to ourselves. Then only others will respect you, or others will see you in that kind of an eye. Yeah. So നമ്മുടെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ എന്ത് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിലും നമുക്ക് എന്ത് വേണം? ഹോപ്പും വേണം, കോൺഫിഡൻസ് വേണം. ആദ്യം നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്യണം? നമ്മളെ തന്നെ ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻറ്റ് വേണം, അല്ലേ? നമ്മുടെ തിജൂസ് അക്കാഡമിയുടെ മോട്ടോ തന്നെ യെസ് വി ക്യാൻ ആണ്. തിജു സാറിൻ്റെ ലൈവ് കണ്ടാൽ നിങ്ങളത് ഫെമിലിയർ ആണ്. യെസ് വി ക്യാൻ മീൻസ് വേർഡ് നമ്മളെ കൊണ്ട് പറ്റും, അല്ലേ? സോ ഇൻ ഓർഡർ ടു അച്ചീവ് എനിത്തിങ് ഇൻ ലൈഫ് വി ഹാവ് ടു ബി വെരി കോൺഫിഡൻറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ഐ എം ഷുവർ ദാറ്റ് whoever is watching this live is confident and very hopeful about yourself. Okay, so let's start with today's sessions. And today I would like to have a small recap about what we learned last week. So to state, linking words for IELTS speaking is mainly for connecting two phrases or sentence or ideas. They are also referred to as conjunction words. Simply to put, linking words are like the glue. Okay, നമ്മൾ conjunction അല്ലെങ്കിൽ linking words, connectors എന്നൊക്കെ വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം ഇതിനെ. നമ്മൾ ഇത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ it will sound so natural and the examiner knows that you are familiar with the local language. Okay. Samir, good morning. Today's IELTS live, Samir. Fine. So, in order to state a direct opinion, there are some connectors which is commonly used in IELTS speaking. That is, in my opinion. You can start by saying, in my opinion, or from my point of view, as far as I'm concerned, or you can say, I believe that. Okay. There are a lot more. These are the few connectors, or these are the words which you can use to express your opinion. Okay. So this is a question which is asked like, is science a popular subject at your university? Yeah. So it says yes, it's very popular, and there are two options, and one is firstly, and then is I believe that. There are about 400 students studying science at King's, and in addition, many parents want their children should study science as it carries a lot of job assurance after finishing the course. So there are two options, and as you can see already the answer is given, I believe that. But why you cannot use a word firstly? Because we are going to start our answer. So what is wrong in saying firstly? Why I have given I believe that? Yes, please comment. Good morning, Sunita. The question is here. Our answer is also here. There are two options. Out of this, I have picked one, that is, I believe that. So my question is, why it's not firstly? Because already we are going to start our answer. So we haven't already stated any answers before. So what is wrong in saying firstly? Good morning, Atira. Thank you for joining our live session. Yes. Kidu, good morning. Please comment here why firstly cannot be used in this answer. Okay, 9 is saying that in order to start opinion, the better word would be in my opinion. Okay, fine. In my opinion, or I believe that. Fine. So firstly cannot be used. Fine. It's not clear the answer. There is some typing error. Okay. Many of the students are saying firstly is used when you want to state a lot of answers. Okay, let's see, Geetu, what others has to say about this. Okay. Richa is saying firstly is used when you want to state a lot of points. Okay, fine. Especially when we want to give a lot of answers, like especially for your follow up. Yeah, very good. Yeah, like the many students said, in order to state your opinion, or in order to say that you are on this side, the better word is I believe that compared to firstly. And whereas firstly can be used especially when you want to state a lot of answers, like advantages. So you can say firstly so and so, secondly like that. Okay, very good. Next question. Do you enjoy studying it? Yes. Yes, science is vast, in my opinion, or to start with. It is interesting because you can relate it with you and your daily life. The section of biology interests me the most. Okay, so the question start by saying, do you enjoy studying it? Okay, the common mistake which have been seen among the students is they directly say the answer like science is worst or whatever. Okay, the mistake you need to be careful is when a question start with do, does, is, or can you. You need to first say yes and then your answer or the statement why you said so. Understand? So you need to say yes, or if it's an answer is no, you need to say yes, or you have to say no and then start with your answer. And here the same thing has been practiced, that the question say do you. So the answer starts with yes, science is vast. In my opinion, it is interesting because you can relate, and the explanation goes on. Okay, so here the answer is in my opinion. Why it is not to start with? Again, almost the words are similar. What is the difference, or is there anything wrong in using to start with? Please comment. Okay, Alino is saying, again, the question is focused on your opinion. Okay, let's see, Lino, whether the others has to say the same. Okay, Geetu is saying, Geetu, it is not clear. Can you type once again? Okay, Geetu is saying, personal opinion is asked. Okay, because the question is saying do, means what? Your opinion. Fine. So the better word is in my opinion. Okay. Thank you for commenting. Let's see whether everybody has the same answer. Good morning. Good morning, dear. Thank you. I'm fine. Hope you are too. Yeah. I have got 2-3 comments here. They all are saying that since it's an opinion, it's always better to use the word in my opinion. Yes. So like I said previously, there is nothing wrong in saying to start with, but then it is always better to say in my opinion because your opinion is being asked. Whereas if it was a questions related to what are the advantages or what are the benefits of studying science, you can start saying like to start with. Okay, I hope it is clear. Moving to the next one, vocabulary for expressing agreement. Agreements mean what? The examinator or the interlocutor will be asking you a question which says about a statement. We are familiar with statements, especially if you are writing an essay question, there is a statement. The general statement will be there, right? So they'll be giving you a statement and ask your opinion, like what is your opinion about this statement, or what's your stand about the statement, or do you agree to this, or where do you stand at this one, or do you think that this is better than this one, or they will ask you questions like, does the drawbacks outweigh the benefits, or the advantages outweigh the disadvantages, or anything related to the question, okay? Asking your stand, like whether you are agreeing or you are in disagreement. So when you are 100% agreeing to what the question says or the statement says, we can follow these connectors or the sentence like, I quite agree that. That means what? Whatever the examiner tells you, those statement, you are 100% you are agreeing to it. So you can use the word I quite agree that. Okay? Or you can say I could not agree more. Means what? The same thing. ഇതിൽ കൂടുതൽ എനിക്ക് agree ചെയ്യാനൊന്നുമില്ല. Okay? And the next one you can say you're absolutely right. You can say that also. If you're very confident, you can use this phrase as well. Or you can say, I am in agreement with so and so. The statement you need to state out, or the facts you need to explain. Or else you can say, I completely agree that. Again, the same thing. Similar to the word, I quite agree, or I completely agree that, the statement. Or you can say, yes, I agree, and then your statement. Or else you can say, I strongly agree that, or I totally agree with the given idea that, or you can say exactly. So these are the simple, words which can be used to express your agreement. A lot more is there. I'm quite inclined to the opinion that. What's the meaning of the word inclined? Anybody can tell me whether you guys are familiar with the word inclined? I'm sure that you have heard this word a couple of times, maybe during your speaking or, with your reading. You might be familiar with the word. Yes. Please, anybody help me out with the meaning of inclined? Okay. Agreed, where synonym. Okay, let's see. Good morning, Sri Kuti. So tell me the meaning of the word inclined, whether you are familiar with speaking or with reading. Let's see. Anu, good morning. Those who know the meaning of inclined, please comment. Let's see whether you guys are familiar with the word, or I shall explain. Good morning, Jinsi. You might have heard this word many times, especially during IELTS speaking. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with it. Inclined. So instead of the word quite agree that, we can use the word inclined. Josina, good morning. Okay. I have, yeah, very good. Lijo, very good. The answer is correct. Anybody else? Inclined is a word that is used to show that you are agreeing, another word actually for quiet. Very good, Lijo. And Manu also, good morning. Yes, inclined is completely agreeing, 100%. Very good. So I quite inclined to the opinion that, so whatever the opinion is, I'm quite agreeing to it. That's what we are going to say. Or you can say in simple words like, agree with the opinion that so and so. Okay. The next one you can say, so do I. That means what? So do I means what? The examiner already stated one. So അതിനർത്ഥം so do I means ഞാനും അതേപോലെ തന്നെ മീൻസ് ഞാനും സെയിം ആയിട്ട് അഗ്രി ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നത് തന്നെയാണ് so do Iയുടെ മീനിങ്. ഓക്കെ. Or you can say I concur with the group who believe that. Again, this word is something which we are commonly used in IELTS speaking. That's the word concur. Okay. Conquer എന്ന് നിങ്ങൾ കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും, ബട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് അനദർ വേർഡ്. വേറൊരു വാക്കുണ്ട് കോൺകർ ചെയ്യുക, മീൻസ് വേർഡ് അച്ചീവ് ചെയ്യുക, ബട്ട് ദ സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് ഇസ് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ. സോ ഹിയർ ദ കോൺകർ ഇസ് ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്. CONCUR, concur with the group who believes that, means I agree with the group who believe that. Understand? ഞാൻ ഇങ്ങനെ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ഗ്രൂപ്പിനോട് ഞാനും യോജിക്കുന്നു എന്നതാണ് മീനിങ്. ഓക്കെ. Or in simple words, we can say, I accept that and the statement. Or you can say, that's true and the statement. I accept the fact that the statement. And or you can say, I consent that. Again, the word meaning is, I agree. Understand? Or you can say, neither do I believe this or that. You can say, like, it's like in a balanced way. You are partially agreeing to something. One statement is being asked, like, do you think the students' behaviors are responsible of teachers? Or some people believe that students' behavior are sole responsibilities of their parents. Where do you stand on this? Or what's your opinion on this? That kind of a question, you are balanced. Like, you don't think that the parents are sole responsible, or you are saying like the teachers are sole responsible of the behavior of the students. So you are partially agreeing to both. So in such a context, you can say, neither do I believe that the teachers are so responsible for the behavior of students, or the parents are responsible. That means you're partially agreeing to something. Okay. Jinsi, very good. The inclined meaning, she has stated a couple of words, that is like influence, willing, ready, prepared, disposed. Very good. Thank you for commenting, Jinsi. So all these words can be used to state your agreement. That means you're strongly agreeing to the statement asked by the examiner. Okay. Or you can say, I approve the idea of. You need to elaborate the given statement, and you need to say that why you're saying so. For example, like I said before, when you're saying yes, you need to say why it's an yes. Or you are saying no and why you're saying a no. You need to explain or elaborate your facts. Understand? I hope these words are clear. So here's one example. The example question is, do many people visit your hometown? The answer which I have stated is, tourists visit to see some of the old monuments, but not much. The main reason behind this is the lack of development. And in fact, very less number of people knows about the place. I quite agree that it's not one of the famous places, but still worth visiting as it unfolds the beauty of history. Okay. So this is the questions. It can be asked for your follow-up. That's after your cue card. Okay. So the question again says, like, whether your hometown is visited by a lot of people. This can be asked with your warm-up session also, because this is something related to your life. Hometown is a common topic which is being discussed in your part 1. Okay. So if the same question asked for your part 1, you need to give the same answer. And whereas if you're asked about your follow-up, you need to give a lot of more example as well. Okay. So here, good morning, Sri Kuti. Good morning, Riju. Good morning. Thank you for joining our live session. Okay, so here I have stated that tourists visit some monuments, but not much. Okay, kore per visit cheyarundu, but then ottiri illa. The main reason behind this is the lack of development. And in fact, see the connector which I have used here. Very less number of people knows about the place because of the there is a lack of development, like it is not known to the public, maybe due to the less facilities available, or maybe the bad experience they had already went through when they visited before, or any kind of those reasons. Okay, so it is not familiar to the public, or it's not quite popular among the society. And then I'm saying I quite agree that it is not one of the famous places, but still worth visiting as it unfolds. What's the meaning of unfolds? Anybody who knows the meaning of unfolds? And here it says unfolds the beauty of history. That means what? Good morning, Richu. Thank you for joining our live session. Prabha, okay. Prabha is saying reveals. Very good. Prabha, the answer is correct. Any other words which can be used for the same word, unfolds? Anybody else? Kripa is saying open up. Okay, Kripa. Let's see if there is any other words. So we have got two words here. Any other words with the same meaning? Unfolds. Explore. Okay. Prabha is saying explore. Okay, let's see, Prabha. I feel the better word was reveals than explore. Okay, there is nothing wrong in saying explore, because more like that, it is better to say unfolds means reveals, like showcase what is the things that is preserved there, or the beauty of the history. That means whatever is being showcased in that monument, that is being relieved or revealed, showcased, portrayed to the public. That's the meaning of unfolds. Okay, so I quite agree that it is not one of the famous places. That means it is not a very famous place for many tourists, or favorite sport for people to visit, but then it has its own beauty, as well as it has its own worth also. That means what? Adinte velayumuണ്ട് എന്നർത്ഥം. Okay, moving to the next question. How has your hometown changed over the years? This is a very common question asked for your warm up. Okay, many students say with one sentence like it has been changed with a lot of developments like infrastructure, buildings, schools, facilities, and so on. Okay, a better restructuring of the sentence would be, since I was a child, the town has almost doubled in size and population, but I accept that the people's attitude towards life has not changed, which has led to the lack of improvement in the city. That means what? Is this a positive thing or a negative statement towards the half? Yeah. Please comment your suggestions. That is the answers related to the question. Like if you have any doubts, please do ask. Yeah. Ria is saying it's a positive as well as a things that has to be changed. Fine. It says it has been developed in size and population, but then people's attitude towards life has not changed. That means the people have the same mindset since, for a long time. So the development or the improvement of the society has been deteriorated. So you can say the lack of improvement is due to the people's attitude, okay? Or you can say this is like in a balanced way, like it has changed over the years, but then it has not changed drastically due to the attitude of the people. Whereas you can state out any other answer saying like what are the changes that happened in your hometown. This is just a sample answer. So you can state like what are the things that have been, introduced in your city or the village you reside. For example, you can state about the facilities like how buildings or the roads or infrastructure or the facilities like schools, hospitals, and services like banks and all those things. You can state all those and how long you have been living in those places. And as a counter question, they can ask you like, do you want to move to another city in the future? Okay, so you can state out yes or no according to your opinion, and then you can state out why you want to move out. If you are saying yes, you want to move on, or you can say no, I am very quite happy about living in my current place because it offers a quiet beauty, or you can state out the reason as such. Okay, so that is how you need to state your answers. And the common mistake seen among students using linking words in speaking is like, for example, here I have given a question. It says, do you like going out with friends or friends? Okay, so the answer says yes, I do. This is the correct way of answering. Yes, I do, because I said when the question is asked about do, does, is, can, first we need to say yes. Yeah, so that is correct in this part. Yes, I do. And then it says, firstly, it gives me a chance to relax. Secondly, I can catch up upon the news. Last but not least, it allows me the opportunity to visit new places. What is the mistake in this sentence? Can anybody tell me? Please comment about the mistakes in these sentences. First, okay, that is firstly, first it gives. Okay, that is one error. Fine. Other than that, yeah, I have used couple of linking words like firstly, then it says last but not least, secondly. All these are the connectors. Okay, so what is actually the mistake in catch up on? No, dear Jinsi, catch up on is not a wrong phrase. ക്യാച്ചപ്പ് ഓണിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അവരുടെ വാർത്തകൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അവരുടെ വിശേഷങ്ങളൊക്കെ അറിയാൻ സാധിക്കും എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ലൈക്ക് അപ്ഡേഷൻ ഇല്ലേ, അതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ ക്യാച്ചപ്പ് ഓൺ എന്ന് പറയുക. ലിങ്കിങ് വേർഡ്സിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും മിസ്റ്റേക്കുകളുണ്ടോ, അതാണ് എൻ്റെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ. Hi, Anchu. Let's see whether you guys are thorough with the linking words. Last. Okay, Jinsi, let's wait. Thank you for commenting. Your comments are very valuable to me. Let's see what others has to say about this question, okay? I have got two more answers. Jinsi, you're saying finally, like I'm not quite understanding because I have not used that connector here. What is a mistake in the connectors here? There are a couple of connectors. But what is a mistake? Because this is a common mistake, stated by many students. Like if they ask you questions like, what's your favorite hobbies? They will like, firstly, I like to read books. Secondly, I like to play badminton. And thirdly, I love going out with my friends. And finally, I would like to eat. So and so. So the connectors was all the sentences like firstly, secondly, thirdly, and finally. Yeah, but what is a mistake? There is nothing wrong because when you're going to start saying your first point, you are supposed to say firstly. And when you're going to start saying your second answer, you're supposed to say secondly. But what is the mistake in saying so? Joseph saying, but last but not least. Okay, please type the reasons also, okay? I've got a couple of answers which says about the mistakes here, like Lord, first, catch upon, last, finally, last but not the least, chance. All those answers I'm getting, but please comment why also. Like, what is the reason? കാരണം ഇവിടെ ലാസ്റ്റ് ബട്ട് നോട്ട് ദ ലീസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്, ലാസ്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ എന്നാണ്. So last പോയിന്റിൻ്റെ മുന്നേ ആണ് ഞാൻ ആ കണക്ടർ യൂസ് ചെയ്തേക്കുന്നത്. But then why it's wrong? So please with your answer comment the reason also why it is wrong. Okay. Yeah. Very good. Fine. So why you cannot use last but not the least when you want to state your last answer? Okay, very good. Disha, very good. Monotonous use of connectors. That's a correct way of saying it. That means what? What do you mean by monotonous? Continuous ആയിട്ട് സെയിം ടോണിൽ നമ്മൾ കണക്ടേഴ്സ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യുക. ഫസ്റ്റ്ലി, സെക്കൻഡ്ലി, ബട്ട് ലാസ്റ്റ് നോട്ട് ദ ലീസ്റ്റ്. ആദ്യമായിട്ട് പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഫസ്റ്റ് പോയിന്റ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഫസ്റ്റ്ലി, സെക്കൻഡ് പോയിന്റിന് സെക്കൻഡ്ലി, തേർഡ് പോയിന്റിന് തേർഡ്ലി, ഫോർത്ത് പോയിന്റിന് ഫോർത്ത്ലി, ആൻഡ് ദ ഫിഫ്ത്ത് പോയിന്റ് ഫൈനലി എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ. ദാറ്റ് മീൻസ് വാട്ട്? In front of every sentence you have used a connector, and that is a mistake. That means what? It sounds you are very unnatural. Okay, it means it's the linking words, the method you used here is too formal. It is inappropriate and it's not a good way to get a high band score. Okay, Joseph say instead of last but not least we can use and. Yeah, better. So monotonous ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുക, കണക്ടേഴ്സ് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കുക. That is a whole idea about giving an example. Okay, so instead of saying such a phrase you can say correct answer would be, yes I do, it is great being able to chill out and catch up with the news. Also we often go out to new places which I really enjoy. Okay, so here I haven't used words like firstly, secondly, but last not least. All those I haven't used. Instead I have used word also. Then I have started saying it is great being able to chill out and catch up with their news. Directly I'm saying about 2 points, that is chill out as well as catch up with their points. With their news. So when you have a couple of answers to say, combine and try to say in a structured way, and try not to use a lot of connectors often in between each and every sentence. Another point which I would like to say is, when you're using connectors, be very cautious, because what they're checking is how natural you sound. It's not like how much linking words you use. And I hope everybody is aware that linking words is just covering up your 25% of your IELTS score. So there is nothing, beneficial if you are using each and every connectors in among each and every sentence. Don't try to use a lot of connectors in between each and every sentence. Be very cautious that you use a minimal of linking words or connectors, or be any kind of vocabulary. Yes, of course, we need to use a lot of vocabulary, or you need to use a high range of words related to the topic. But while you're using connectors, be very careful and try to learn the words, that is the connectors, which is related to IELTS speaking, and what is the difference between IELTS speaking connectors and the writing connectors, because do not get mixed with it. The main mistake seen among students is the mixing up of the connectors or the linking words between writing and speaking. So I hope it is clear that the two connectors, or the two scenarios where you need to give out your linking words, or you need to showcase your linking words, is one is stating your opinion and one is showing your agreement. And last class I have stated a connector, that was firstly, how to give your firstly. And if you haven't watched that video, please go and watch those live sessions as well. And if you have any doubts related to linking words, please comment below this same, and I will be clarifying it next week, and I will be coming up with a couple of linking words and connectors for the same, and the common mistakes that have been used among IELTS speaking. So I hope the class was very beneficial for you, and stay tuned for the next live speaking sessions. And meanwhile, please go through all the connectors, and thank you for joining, and thank you for everyone who have joined today's live session. Thank you so much.